In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can play Fortnite with a controller that is Bluetooth, Xbox, PlayStation, or even a keyboard. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to Tech with Brett, where I help tech work for you. Now previously I mentioned you cannot play Fortnite on Samsung with a controller or a keyboard, and I take it back. Jimmy's promo found a way to be able to do this, so I'm going to show you a new way that you can play Fortnite, and it's pretty awesome. It's definitely helped my skills. So the first thing that we need to do is head into Fortnite installer and make sure that Fortnite is updated all the way. If it's not updated to the latest version, you are going to have issues. So once that's updated, then you would need to connect your controller. So here I have a Asus Bluetooth controller. I actually got this for my Android TV. So this would work. Or you could actually use an Xbox One S controller and Bluetooth it to your phone. Or you can get a USB connector, plug this into your phone, and plug in, I believe, a PlayStation 4 controller or just a regular Xbox controller as well. Or you could use this to plug in a keyboard, and we'll get into that in a bit. And then we need to head into Play Store and search for Octopus 64-bit for Fortnite. Now this game only works with Fortnite, and then it does cost $1. So I have already purchased it, but I would say that it's definitely worth the money if you're really big into playing Fortnite. So then once you have it, here I've placed it on my home screen, instead of opening Fortnite to play Fortnite, you would want to go into the Octopus application. So here I'm going to turn on my controller. So now that my controller is on and I'm into the application, here you can see that it is connected to my Asus gamepad, and I just had to connect that via Bluetooth. And then down here you have the games. I guess you could add other games, so maybe it will work with non-Fortnite games. Here you could watch a video about the gameplay, and then over here we have the Me category. So here we will talk about in a little bit, but we're just gonna focus on the home. And once you are here, all you need to do is open Fortnite. And so this is essentially going to open up the application inside this little map or overlay that we have on the screen. And you'll already notice that there are a bunch of different icons on top of the screen, and that is what's going to help us interact with the game. So whenever we press a button on here, it will action the button on the screen with these little tabs. And I'm actually going to show you how you can turn that off as well. Now that the game is loaded, I'm going to be doing some testing with the controller to make sure everything works. So I'm actually going to change the game type down here to playground. So I can just go and play around, and I'm going to change this to don't fill. So it's just kind of me running around. And then here it says RB. So then I'm going to push RB, which is the right button right here. So then it will start the gameplay. Now that we've landed, I'm going to quickly show you how this works. So here I can move my left trigger forward and back and move around just like I was playing on a console. And then over here I can turn my camera around. And now if I wanted to hit with my little pick here, I have the RT, so the right trigger. So when I push that, that is actually going to be my trigger button. And then down here we have the arrow. So if I want to check my inventory, I press the arrow and then I press it again and I can go back. And right here we have B, which will take us to building. And then over here we have RB, which will again do the trigger button there. And if I were to jump, I press Y. And yeah, that's kind of how this works. And then I have A and I can crouch down. Now, so far I've actually experienced pretty good gameplay with this. There's not much lag at all. There is one thing that happens, I don't know if it's because of this controller, where he will just start randomly walking backwards every once in a while, but right now you can see that that is not happening. Let me run around and collect some items and I'll show you a few more things. All right, here I have collected a few more items. So one of the big things that I was having a problem with in the beginning is selecting these items down here. So going to my gun or my weapon. So is what you do is you press LB, so that's left button, and then you would press the button you want. So if I want to go to my weapon here, I push LB and then B. So if I want to go back to my axe, LB and then X. And if you want to change how those are, you can actually just go into your inventory menu and you could arrange in which order they are, which is a pretty cool tip here. So if I want to have my weapon there and my potion second, you can adjust all of that. And another tip that I learned from one of my good friends, Braden, thanks Braden, is that when you are in the inventory menu, if you want to drop anything, all you need to do is drag it out and then onto the floor and it will drop it, and you can choose how much you drop right there in case your inventory is getting full. So then one thing, sometimes every once in a while there are things on the ground that you can't pick up unless you touch the screen. But right here you see the X, and if you hover over that item and then you push the X button, that would pick it up. So just like that, I was able to pick it up just by pushing the X on the screen. So next let's look at the building. So if I press B, I'm going to go into building options. So again, down here we have the different options of changing the style. So if I want to do LB and then Y, I can do a floor, LB and then X. I can do a wall, LB and then A just swaps it around, and then LB and B changes it to this. And then if I want to do trigger, I will start building items there. And you can look around to build in different directions. Pretty cool, just learned how to do that. And then if I want to go back to my weapon, I would just push B. And if I want to go back to my gun here, LB, Y. So that is kind of the basic functions in how this works. Now let me show you a few things that you can do to enhance and personalize your gameplay. So up here at the top, you'll see this little octopus. So if you touch that, these are the Octopus controls. So I can actually go in here and manually adjust where the buttons are and what the buttons actually are. So down here, I have the B as build. If I wanted to change that, I would just need to tap on the B and then press whatever I want on the controller to build. So if I push Y, it would change the build option to Y on my controller, but here it says that value is already set, and it would press both of them at the same time. So I can push OK, and now you can see it's changed to the Y, but I want to make sure I keep that as a B. So you could go through and adjust any of that. Just be careful if you are moving anything around, it's set in that spot so that it can actually press the trigger button. If you move it off and it's not touching the trigger on screen, it will no longer work. So the main thing that you might want to change in here is up here in the settings. So here we have a controller. So if I press the controller, I could actually switch to a keyboard. So here are the keyboard settings. So if I plugged in a keyboard, I would be able to control with all of those options right there on screen. So that's pretty nice. But let's go back to the gamepad. And then I want to click plus. So plus allows you to add different items on the screen. So let's say I wanted to add where another A key was, I could move that around. But so far, I haven't found any need to add any of those onto the screen. So then the next option here is the settings menu. And in the settings, you can actually change the button opacity. So right now, you can see how much it is on full. And then if we turn it all the way down and we go out, let's hit the check mark here. And there you can see that those buttons have been removed off the screen. So I can still use my controller, no problem. And those buttons are gone. So if you have memorized where the buttons are, you would have no problem in using this mode. And then if we want to go back, we just tap that octopus, go back into settings. Here, let's turn it up all the way. And that's what it looks like with the buttons all the way up. So then down here you have POV settings. So that is the direction in which you are looking. So if we turn that up all the way, save that. When I look around, it's super fast. I can't even focus on where I'm trying to look. So if we go back into the settings and we go slow, here you can see that when I move over all the way to the side, pretty slow turn. So I actually prefer mine to be up a little bit, a little faster. So here you have the accurate aiming. So if you turn that on, when you are shooting, it will actually slow down the accurate aiming so that you can hit the target that you are looking for instead of it going all over the place. So that's actually pretty cool. I'm not sure if this is called cheating, but that definitely works. So in this menu, you can also scroll down, and here you have a few other options. Other than accurate aiming, you can go to quick turning, and then you can also invert your X and Y axis. And then another option you have up here is record. So you could actually record the screen. So let's start a recording right now. I'm going to select start now. So it's showing a timer up here, and then the red video icon showing that it's recording. And then if you go into the settings, you could learn a bit more about these different modes, keys, and compass, all this kind of stuff. You have all those options there. So you could go a bit more in depth on it. So let's go and check out how this gameplay looks when I do some screen recording with the mouse. This thing is a grappling. Pretty sweet. So here you can see the gameplay and hear it, and the audio didn't sound very great. It looks like it's only recording from one channel, but if you were really needing to record some of your gameplay, you wanted to show it off, it definitely does the job. And then if we want to end the recording, we would just come up here, press the recording, and there it has saved into our main menu. So when you are done playing, let's say you go home, you will notice that up in the notification panel here it says Octopus mapping service is still running. So I suggest that you go back into the Octopus and then go over here to the Me tab, and then you would want to go down and hit quit. So then it's officially quit the game. No longer is that service running in the background. So hopefully this video is helpful for you in learning a bit more about how to use Fortnite on your mobile phone. And hopefully you have a gamepad that you can already use, but I will leave a link to some recommended ones in the description below. If you guys have any further questions about how this works, please let me know in the comments below. And if this is your first time here, I would love to have you subscribe so that you can be notified of my new and upcoming videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.